Hey there, and welcome to the Totally Fierce Crochet channel. My name's Thomas, and this Easter is going to be very extra with these super cute and super fun plushy Easter eggs. They're super easy to make, perfect for beginners. They're so squishy and fluffy, and they will definitely be the highlight of your Easter basket this year. But as always, before we start, just take a sec, like this video, and to subscribe to my channel. Thank you. So here's what you need. First up, some chenille yarn. For this tutorial, I'm going to use Pingouin Pingo chenille. The color is called miel, which means honey in English, and it does look like honey a little bit. It's very springy and I love it very much. You can basically use any kind of chenille yarn. You can find them everywhere right now. So I also bought some from Hobbi, which is called Honey Bunny, and I also had a Gründl Funny Uni yarn ball here. So they're basically all the same, of course, in terms of shading and in terms of the thickness. They might differ a little bit, but basically they're all the same. And whatever chenille yarn you are going to use, you can always make a pretty awesome plushy Easter egg out of it. Then of course you need the crochet hook. For this tutorial I'm going to use a 6mm hook. Usually it's also indicated in the bag. Most of the chenille yarns use a hook size number 6, and this is just perfect. Then a yarn needle to finish your work. Then what you would need are some stitch markers. I have these super cute rainbow stitch markers that I got from Hobbi. I'm going to link all the supplies in the description as always. Then of course some scissors, and the most important part is of course some filling to have them super soft and squishy. You should be able to get some filling. I bought it like this in a pack like that from Rico. Basically everywhere, in your yarn store or in the craft store. Sometimes even supermarkets have it, especially since amigurumis got so popular in the past few years. So you will get it there, or go to Amazon and have it delivered right to your home. So let's start with our honey yarn, and we are going to start by making a magic circle. I know there are so many different ways of doing the magic circle. Here's how I do it. I wrap the yarn around my fingers like this, grab the yarn from in between, go over, grab the yarn again, and pull up for a loop. Then I release it from my fingers, and then I'm just going to pull that loop tight. And for the chenille yarn, what I think really is bugging me a lot is that you can't really, and I mean you can, but when you then drag on your magic circle, you get all those little pieces that fall out. But this is basically something that chenille is. So whenever you see chenille and you love it, it's not always that easy and there are parts falling off, but that's how it is. So let's start with round number 1, and we start the first round by making 6 single crochets into that magic circle. So you put your hook into the circle, yarn over, pull through, and yarn over and pull through the 2 loops. So this is your first single crochet, and we need 6 more of those, all in the magic circle. And that last one. So now I have 6. So now I have 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And what I'm going to do is to put my stitch marker in that very last stitch. So I know that this was the end of round 1. And now we can drag on that end loop to close the magic ring, just like this. Don't pull it too tight, because it might burst, then you would have to do it all over again. And we are good to go with round number 2. And for round number 2 we are going to double each stitch from the first round. So we are going to make 2 single crochets into each of those 6 stitches. So we start with the first one, we go directly in it, we don't chain anything. We are going to crochet everything in the round, and can make the first single crochet, and into that same stitch the second single crochet. Then the next stitch we are going to double as well, like this. So now we have 4 stitches. Then the next 2 into the third stitch from the previous round. So now we have 6. And then the next double, now we have 8. Ten stitches, and then I'm going to put the stitch marker out. We have now the last stitch from the previous round, and of course we are going to double it. So now we have a total of 12 stitches, and again I'm going to place the stitch marker right in the last stitch. So now we have completed round number 2. As you can see, it goes very fast. So without any further ado, we are going directly into the third round, and for this third round we are going to double every second stitch. So the first one is a single crochet, and then the second stitch we are going to double and make 2 single crochets in there. So now we have 3. Now we have 3. Then the next stitch is 1 single crochet. Then we go into the next one and make 2 single crochets into that same stitch, and all the way we continue like this right till we reach our stitch marker, where we then put 2 single crochets into that last stitch. And here's our last one. We are going to release the stitch marker and do the last 2 single crochets right in there. And again, just so we know where we're at, is to add the stitch marker. So this was round number 3. Looks a bit like this. And let's continue with round number 4. In round number 4 we are going to make 2 single crochets and then double the third stitch. So we go in there and make a single crochet in the first, 1 single crochet in the second, and 2 single crochets in every third stitch. And we do this all the way through until we reach again our stitch marker. So 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, and 2 single crochets in the same stitch. And this is the last one. We remove the stitch marker and work our last 2 single crochets into that last stitch from round 3, and grabbing the stitch marker again to know where we are. And this is how it looks like. So we are done with the increases, and as you can see, it folds out a little bit already, just like this. This part here is going to be the inside, so we don't have to do anything with our end yarn. The egg is going to be closed anyway, so no one will see that. And for the next 3 rounds, we are just going to crochet around those 24 stitches in each stitch, 1 single crochet all the way through for 3 rounds. And I'm going to fast forward and see you before we then start with the decreases already. And here we go. Round number 7 is complete. And this is how it looks like. So we basically started on the side of our plushy Easter egg. And for round number 8, we are going to start decreasing, and we do it in the reverse order like we did the increases. So we are going to decrease by crocheting the 3rd and the 4th stitch together all the way through. So we have 1 single crochet, the 2nd single crochet, and then we are going to crochet those 2 together. So you go with your hook in the stitch, yarn over, pull the yarn through, and then go directly into the next stitch, yarn over and pull it through. You now have 3 loops on your hook, you yarn over and then pull through all 3 of them. So this is how you do a decrease for single crochets. Then the next single crochet, the 2nd, and then here comes the next decrease. So you put the hook into the stitch, yarn over, pull it through, then go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all of the loops. And we do this all the way until we reach the stitch marker, and then we are back at a stitch count of 18. And we can take out the stitch marker already and have those last 2 stitches together and put the stitch marker back in. Then for the next round we are going to have single crochets all the way through, so no decreases, no increases, just single crochets, 18 in total. And the last one, stitch marker out and stitch marker back in. Here we go. So this is how it looks. We have a little pouch now, and I think it's time to fill it up. I usually take like a hand of it and just put everything in there. I mean, in the end, it's still flexible. You can always later on shape it a bit afterwards. And I always do it in a way that there's still a bit of the filling coming out. So now we are good to continue. You can always play a bit in terms of how much filling you put in. That's also why some of my plushy eggs look a bit bigger, others look a bit smaller. But I mean, this is also like this in reality. Not every egg has the same size. And if you only know eggs with the same size, then there's something wrong with the eggs. Trust me. So we're keeping it as close to the original as possible. So for this next round, we are going to bring our stitch count back to 12, and we do this by crocheting the second and the third stitch always together. The first one is a regular single crochet, and I know it's going to be a bit tricky with the filling, but I'm sure you're going to get used to it. So this is now stitch number 2 and 3 crochet together. Then we have another single crochet, and then we are going to crochet the next 2 together, 1 single crochet, then 2 together, 1 single, here we go, and the last 2. Before that, we are going to release the stitch marker and have the last 2 stitches crocheted together, and then again let's put the stitch marker right in that last stitch. And for the next round, we are going to just do 12 single crochets all the way around. And the last one. Right here. And always feel free to squish it a little bit so you get like the shape of your egg. And if you feel like it was still a bit too much filling, you can always, of course, pull some out just like this and see how that would fit. Okay, so the next round is another decrease. We are going to connect every 2 stitches into one. So we go into those 2 stitches, so you have 3, and then pull through all 3 of them. So by the end of the round you will have 6 stitches left. And the last 2, I'm going to remove the stitch marker first because it got quite tight here. And this was our last one. So what we can do now is to cut our yarn. You yarn over again and pull the yarn through. Pull it a bit tight, because now we are going to sew in our end or the beginning, whatever side you want to name the beginning or the end of your egg. And the way I do it is that I just go in each of the stitches and pull it tight, because by that your plushy egg will close on its own basically. And when I reach the last one, I just go under it with the one on the opposite side, and I'm going to leave a loop here and pull the yarn through and pull it tight. So here we go. This is how it looks. This side should be done. And then I'm going to just sew in the yarn end as is. You could also just cut it somewhere, that's fine. It's completely up to you. I just do it to have it as another filling element right in there. No, I lost it. Putting it back in, and when it's too small you can either cut it or you use your crochet hook and put it just in there and hide it on the inside, and your fluffy egg is done. This is how it looks like. So cute, so pretty. And by that you can make them all, as many as you wish. And they are so cute and funny. And as you can see, I also made some variations. So you can always have like one part in one color and then the next in another color. You can also mix 2 colors together by changing the yarn for each round. Or this is another variation of it where I was just crocheting in the back loops only. So the pattern looks a little bit different. And you can also do something like this so that you have vertical stripes, which also looks quite nice. And who knows, I might be doing another tutorial to show you how to make the plushy Easter egg with more than one color. But for now, this was it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed making those super cute and funny Easter eggs. And like that, Easter this year will definitely be very, very extra. So see you again very soon, only at the Totally Fierce Crochet channel, and I hope to see you then again. Thank you. Bye.